Anyone who's played the Meteorot 2 core game on the Game Boy Advance will know this particular gentle giant very, very well. It is the giant golem type GGR00 Gentleheart, with a kit of stat cleanse, double hammer, tank legs, and the leg ability of heavy arms, which buffs all leg stats, minus armor and heavy limit for every heavy part equipped. Now, even though tank legs is something I will very openly advocate against for a number of reasons, despite honestly the 30% passive damage reduction that they do get, Gentleheart is honestly one that takes a lot of the issues that tank legs have and spins them around to something in his favor if used correctly. Stat Cleanse, as a fantastic healing-based skill you can fit in just about anywhere in competitive teams, will remove any active negative ailments across the team, whether it be to himself or to an ally, and also render the team immune to them a certain number of hits. Right and left arm of hammer are your conventional melee skills in this case, meaning that attacking the enemy will deal an AoE damage and damage all four parts or all active parts of the incoming target evenly and spread the damage across them. That being said, that spread damage that the hammer that does create does make using it a little inconsistent because it will spread the damage, like I said, evenly and make breaking parts a lot harder. But that honestly is something that Gentleheart really doesn't like to do too often, and more along the lines kind of sets him up as kind of a damage sponge and a prepper, I guess you could call it, for lack of a better term. Mostly meant for someone to come up behind him and finish the job and really stack up a lot of part breaking at once. Now, this especially can come in handy, say, for an ally that has a hunter or sniper nature medal. A couple hits from Gentleheart and then a nuker friend from behind can very easily capitalize on the prep work that Gentleheart does time to take to his advantage. And honestly, with the tank legs in particular, heavy arms is probably one of the much better tank leg abilities that they can make use of to compensate for their overall poor stats. As simply put, because Gentleheart, all three of Gentleheart's parts are heavy, he is absolutely going to be capitalizing on that bonus right from start, which means even though, again, he is using clunky tank legs, he actually will be able to keep and hold his own relatively decently. Now, he still will be just a little bit sluggish in compared to other models, but he will still at least be able to hold his own, and especially with the buff to his shoot and melee resist, plus the damage reduction that all tank legs get, means that this particular giant is going to be a really difficult one to hammer and take down relatively quickly. For these reasons, as a pure set score, I honestly do have to rate Gentleheart at a pretty flat 6 out of 10. Not to say that he's bad, but again, he does have a lot of shortcomings that make him tricky to use, such as with his leg ability. Even though it is honestly the better of the few that to use on tank legs, when the legs go out, it does require him to be using triple heavy, which makes him not only susceptible to heavy punish with any gravity-based moves, but if his legs are broken, Gentleheart is essentially done. Even if he's still active, there is no hope of using him whatsoever until those legs can be restored, if they can be at all. Plus, even I've already gone over Hammer before previously as well, with it being an AoE skill and inconsistent damage, but the other issue as well Gentleheart has is the fact that even though Stat Cleanse is a really fantastic skill to make use of, it is also a heavy part, which means even though it is still just as useful as any other Stat Cleanse part, you do honestly have to consider the heavy limit of the legs when using it if you decide to. As mixed parts, on the other hand, I have to rate him about equally at a 6 out of 10 as well, given that even though together he does actually kind of compensate for a pretty fair amount of his weaknesses relatively well. As mixed parts, you can kind of do the same, such as, say, with his legs in particular, are probably going to be the better used part on him, such as, say, pairing him off with triple heavy of, say, Kaiser Beetle or God Emperor or any other high-end nuker in particular, or especially melee nukers in this case, is something that you definitely want to make use of to capitalize on that ability. Otherwise, Gentleheart, as aesthetically nice as he is, really is just kind of thick and kind of clunky, and that's kind of the extent of where he chooses to stay.